This is Mac here from JLPTbootcamp.com with another N4 grammar lesson. And today we're going to talk about ka and kadouka, which we can use to bury questions into sentences. And so first, to set the situation up here, you and your friend are heading to the beach. So last lesson we were making plans to go to the beach, but now we're heading to the beach. And you ask your friend, "Itsu basu ga shupatsu suru ka wakaru?" And she responds, "10 janai?" And you respond to that, "Sokka, chotto osoku naru na." So first sentence, itsu is when, basu is, of course, bus. Ga is the subject marking particle there. Shupatsu is, to literally translate it, departation. Of course, if you add suru, that means to depart. It's the verb to depart. Ka is marking that as a question that you're burying in the sentence, and wakaru is to know or to understand. So if you take this all together, you're asking kind of indirectly when the bus leaves. So if we were to translate this, it would be something like, "Do you know when the bus leaves?" So this structure with the ka to bury the questions inside the sentence is a good way to make indirect questions. It's just one way to do it. Of course, there's some other things you can use this for, but this is a real common usage of it. And your friend responds, "Juji," so ju is 10, ji is hour. In this particular case, it means o'clock, so at 10 o'clock. And janai, she's checking that information. So in English, we might say, "It's 10 o'clock, right?" And you respond, "Sokka, oh, that's right. Chotto, a little. Osoku, late. Naru is to become. And na is making it a little bit more emphatic. You're sad about the situation." So altogether, that would be, "Oh, we're going to be a little late, huh?" And so you are using the ka to bury a question inside a sentence. And this is a pretty simple structure. Basically, you're making a question word in plain form, not usually, not past tense, not past, but usually non-past, and in plain form. That means not polite, no mas, stems, or anything before the ka. And you're basically just putting a sentence you're putting a question, into the sentence. For example, shukidai wa nani o suru ka sensei ni kikimashita. So shukidai is homework, of course, and wa is the topic marking particle. So as for homework, nani is what, suru to do, so what to do, sensei, teacher, ni, to, so to the teacher I asked. Kikimashita. Of course, kiku can mean to hear, and it can also mean to ask. This is very commonly used to mean to ask. I know there's also tazuneru, but there's kind of a slight difference between those two words that I don't really want to go into right now, but usually kiku is the more commonly used. Of course, you can also use tazuneru to mean to ask a question. So you usually use this you often use this for communication. For example, I'm going to ask about such and such, or for understanding or for confirmation of something. This to bury the questions inside a sentence. And there's one other variation to this, that's kadouka. So let's continue on with our story here. You need to check in on your friends. So again, you ask your Japanese friend, "Taru wa kuru no?" And she responds, "Wakaranai. Kuru kadoka denwa shite kite miru." So taru wa kuru is taru coming, and wakaranai, she says, "Oh, I don't know." Kuru, to come, kadoka, or not, to come or not. Denwa shite, I'm going to call. Denwa is phone, call. Kite is, again, ask. And miru is to try. So she doesn't know if she's going to get in, she's going to be able to talk to him or not. So it's a little bit more natural to use miru to mean try. So altogether, that would mean I don't know. I'm going to call and ask him if he's coming or not. So again, kadouka is where you're basically you're going to bury a yes-no question into a sentence. So it has the meaning of whether or not, if or not, but you can kind of think of it as the first structure, ka, burying a question into a sentence, but without the question word. So question words, of course, are what we call in English is like a w question. There's two different kinds of questions. There's w questions and yes-no questions. And this would be used, this kadouka structure would be used to bury a yes-no question into a sentence. So here's another example. Sato-san ga mada sono kaisha de hataraiteiru kadoka oboete imasen. So Sato-san is Mr. Sato. Ga is the subject marking particle. Mada is still, not to be confused with mata, which means again. Mada is still. Sono kaisha, that company. De, at, doing some kind of action at a place is the de particle. Hataraiteiru is a working, be working. Kadoka, whether or not. Aboite imasen is I don't remember. So, or I don't recall. So altogether, this would be I don't recall if Mr. Sato is still working at that company or not. So again, this is used mostly to bury yes-no questions. In both of these structures, kadouka and ka, when you're burying the question, usually what follows, what co-locates with these structures are three kinds of verbs. There's communication, so kiku, oshieru, tazuneru would fall underneath this category. So you're communicating something. You're communicating the question to somebody. There's an understanding, so wakaru, shiru, aboeru, to remember, to recall. There's some kind of understanding verbs that follow kadouka or ka. And finally, there's some kind of confirmation. So you want to confirm some kind of question. So shiraberu is to check out. This is an N4 word that you might come across. And kensa suru is to investigate in a more formal kind of situation. So you're not a criminal investigation, but you're checking more in a clear set way, like you're checking some kind of equipment or something. This is what kensa would be used. Or you're conducting some kind of survey, formal survey is kensa. Whereas shiraberu is something more casual. You're asking questions, whatnot. Kensa is not an N4 word, but just some things to keep in mind for the future when you're using these. Or, of course, if you're doing some other kind of studying, you might come across some other kinds of verbs that aren't N4 in quotes here. So that is it for ka and kadouka. Do you think you have it? We're going to do a quick pop quiz here to see if you can translate these English sentences into Japanese. First one is, I don't know if he wants to go or not. I don't know, or I'm not sure. I don't know is very clear here. I don't know if he wants to go or not. In Japanese, that would be kare ga ikitai kadoka shirimasen. So kare is he, ga is the subject marking particle. Ikitai is want to go. Of course, you're using iku, the to go, the verb for to go. You take the ma stem, iki, and add tai to mean I want to. I want to go, or somebody wants to go, he wants to go. Kadoka, whether or not, and shirimasen is I don't know. So I don't know if he wants to go or not. And the last pop quiz here. I don't know where the closest station is. I don't know where the closest station is. In Japanese, that would be doko ni chikai eki ga aru ka wakarimasen. So doko ni is where, and ni is at, the location, marking a location. Chikai is near. Eki is station, and ga is the subject marking particle. Aru is to exist, something physical existing. Ka is, of course, bearing that question. Wakarimasen is I don't know where the closest station is. So that's it. Today we practice ka, that's used to bury questions inside a sentence. So question word in the plain form plus ka, and we also practice kadouka, whether, if, or not, which is kind of you're burying basically yes, no question into a sentence. So it's just a plain sentence, no question words, plus kadouka, and then one of those three types of verbs: communication, understanding, or confirmation. So that's it for today for this N4 grammar lesson. Do you know somebody who is studying for the N4, the JLPT? If you do, I'm sure it would help them out a lot if you sent this video along and help them with this tricky grammar point, and they could learn a little bit more. That's it for me. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Of course, subscribe to the channel to hear more videos just like this and updates about N4 from JLPTbootcamp.com. So thank you very much, and talk to you soon. This has been another grammar explanation video from the JLPTbootcamp.com premium site. There at the site, you'll find a lot of other extra goodies. For example, all of my guides, including the JLPT Study Guide Kit, which will walk you through how to study for the JLPT, as well as how to build very effective mnemonics so that you can remember kanji and vocabulary the first time you see it. I also walk through how to formulate a good test-taking strategy, so you know what units, what sections of the test to focus on to maximize your points and get the best possible score that you deserve. In addition to that kit, I also have grammar guides for the N5 and N4 levels. In those guides, I go over some common mistakes that people make, example test questions, extra practice with grammar points, lots of great stuff. That's available at jlptbootcamp.com/premium. I hope to see you very soon at the premium site. This has been Mac from jlptbootcamp.com.